So the new topic is ensemble learning, and ensemble of and usually these methods are applied to classification. I mean, you can also apply them to regression, but typical application of ensemble methods is classification. An ensemble of classifiers is a set of classifiers. Individual decisions are combined in some way to classify new examples. What this says is that you will have a multiple classifiers. For example, you can have uh, decision trees, multiple decision trees trained on the data set which is obtained from the same distribution, and then you combine the results of the multiple classifiers to obtain the final prediction on a given test example. Simplest approach is generate multiple classifiers. I gave you the example of decision trees. So you have, let's say, decision tree 1, decision tree 2, and decision tree k, which are trained on the data set generated from the same distribution. And then once you have trained them, then given a test example, try to predict using each one of these decision trees. And then use majority voting or averaging to get final prediction. ठीक है, very simple idea कि हम instead of one classifier, now we will have multiple classifiers. We can either use decision trees, multiple decision trees, or multiple neural networks. Any classifier that we have studied before, we can use ensemble of those classifiers to and apply the techniques that we are going to study in this lecture. And different ensemble methods differ in the training strategy and the combination. How do you combine the classifiers and what should be the training strategy? How to get data? So we are going to look at two of these cases के जिसमें एक है tagging, the other one is boosting. Third one we are not going to look at in this lecture, which is the mixture of experts. In bagging, we are going to do parallel training with different overlapping training sets. ठीक है, इसमें जो difference होगा between different classifiers जो आपके पास आपने अप्लाई करने हैं, डिफरेंस ये होगा कि हर क्लासीफायर जो है वो एक डिफरेंट ट्रेनिंग सेट के ऊपर ओवरलैपिंग ट्रेनिंग सेट के ऊपर आप ट्रेन करेंगे. ठीक है, एंड देन फाइनली यू आर गोइंग टू average prediction to predict on test instance. The other one is called boosting, and this is sequential technique. Sequential means in the first round you are going to apply your classification algorithm on data set, and as a result you will know on which of those examples you had error. In the next round, you're going to give more weightage to those examples in which not get accurate results, जिसमें आप errors आए हैं. और इसी तरह सेकेंड राउंड के बाद थर्ड राउंड में यू गोइंग टू देन अगेन लोग के कौन से एग्जांपल्स हैं जिनमें पहले दोनों राउंड्स में जिनमें आपके एरर्स आए, यू आर गोइंग those examples more weightage. And so this is sequential mean one after the other. So first round, after that, second round, and that is how you're going to. In bagging, you're going to do the parallel training. You have overlapping training sets. और parallelly आप जितने भी multiple classifiers हैं उन different overlapping training sets के ऊपर आप apply कर देंगे training training करेंगे in parallel. So these are the two methods, bagging and boosting. Before we go any further, let's revise the bias variance trade-off, because we will see that the ensemble methods, they help us in reducing the bias of the classifier. So what is bias variance trade-off? As if you know, we discussed this before also. If we plot the training error, which is shown here in green, with respect to the model complexity, then generally this is the curve we observe, that initially with the when your model has low complexity, your training error would be high, but if you increase the model complexity, then your training errors will start to decrease and they may eventually go to even zero. And for the test examples or the test error, this is also going to start high. You know, when your model is less complex, your test error will also be high. But as you increase the model complexity, your test error is, but after some time, they will again start to increase. So by looking at this figure, you can easily determine कि your algorithm, your classifier या अगर आप regression problem भी देख रहे हैं उसमें कौन सा problem है, high bias है या high variance है. Okay, high variance is uh, will be there when your training error and your test error they are really high, like here in this case. Okay, they are close to each other, but they are really high. So this is the high bias error, and high bias indicates you have wrong assumptions, your algorithm, your classifier. For example, your data set is not linearly separable, but you assume that it is, and then you train a linear classifier, then of course you are going to get errors. So the errors due to wrong assumption, they are called they are due to underfitting, and we call have a high bias error. And but if you then increase the complexity, which means that instead of using a linear model, you use some higher order model, then you will see that your errors would decrease. Now then on the other side we have the overfitting, and this you can easily determine by looking at the test error and the training error. If the test error and training error, this gap is really huge, then you know that this is a high variance error. Okay. If you have high bias, you increase complexity. If you have high variance, you add regularization. Okay, you add to it regularization or different regularizations or other techniques that we studied high variance. So by definition, variance is the error from sensitivity to small fluctuations in the training set, and bias error is the erroneous assumptions in the model. Okay, तो ये तो क्लियर है सबको, बाइस वेरिएंस ट्रेड ऑफ. Okay, so let's look at another example. Okay, जिससे हम determine करेंगे and whether we have a high bias problem or a high variance problem. Consider a set of data sets. ये let's say कि ये आपके पास n data sets हैं, and they are sampled from the same distribution, from same distribution. Okay, which means all these different data sets, they will not be similar. I mean, they will not be same, but they will be similar. Okay, they are sampled from the same distribution, so although they will have the same pattern, the same general structure, but they will not be exactly same. And now let's train different classifiers. For example, neural network or any other classifier individually on each one of these data sets. Okay. Now we have two scenarios. पहला सिनेरियो ये है कि the first scenario is that the decision boundaries of all these classifiers are close to each other but are all wrong. कि जितने भी आपने जो n classifiers ट्रेन किए थे उनकी जो decision boundaries हैं they are close to each other but they are all wrong. ये एक सिनेरियो एक मैं आपको एक सिनेरियो पेश कर रहा हूँ. The other scenario is that the decision boundaries are different from each other but close to the true boundary. So the question is which of these two scenarios indicate high bias and which indicates high variance? जी. हाँ जी बताएं. तो यहाँ नजर भी आ गया लिखा हुआ बहरहाल. So decision boundaries ये scenario one में whether it indicates high bias या जो scenario two it indicates high bias.
सर पहले में एक्यूरेसी कम है तो अंडर फिट होगा तो हाई बायस होगा.
ठीक है correct. देखिए you can also keep this figure in mind. देखें इसमें आपके पास दो ट्रेनिंग एरर्स हैं या यूँ कह लें कि आपके पास एक ट्रेनिंग एरर है और ये टेस्ट एरर है. ट्रेनिंग एरर टेस्ट एरर आपका दोनों जो हैं दे आर रियली हाई एंड बट दे आर क्लोज टू ईच अदर. और आप इस चीज़ को कह रहे हैं कि दिस इज अंडर फिटिंग या हाई बायस के में भी जो हमारे क्लासीफायर्स हैं दे हैव some wrong assumptions जो हमने ली हैं उसकी बेसिस पे हमने ये classifiers बनाए हैं. See, we are getting those errors. This is exactly this situation here. Okay, the decision boundaries of all classifiers are close to each other, but they're all wrong. Okay, so this indicates that it is high bias, and it indicates overfitting, underfitting. The second scenario where decision boundaries are different from each other but close to the true boundary. This is because कि आपका जो classifier है each individual classifier has this capacity कि वो आपकी training error को reduce decrease उसने कर दिया है. लेकिन चूंकि it is very sensitive to the training set तो आपके जो different classifiers हैं trained on these and different data sets उनकी decision boundaries they do not match because of their sensitivity to the data set. जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि although these data sets they are sampled from the same distribution but they are not exactly same, and due to the changes और जो डेटा सेट्स आपके जो डिफरेंट हैं दोनों इन सब केसेस में आपका जो डिसीजन बाउंड्रीज हैं दे आर also different but they are close with true boundary. आपने सही डिटेक्ट तो कर लिया they are close to the true boundary but they are different from each other. So this indicates high bias. ठीक है. So you can easily determine high bias or high variance from this observation as well कि आपके पास अगर multiple classifiers and trained on data sets sampled from a same distribution. And then by looking at the training errors or the decision boundaries, you can say whether it is a high bias or a high variance problem, or in other words, underfitting or overfitting. Okay. So any question? Bias variance trade-off is clear to all, right? So now let's look at the reason why do ensemble methods work. The ensemble methods work because they help to reduce the variance without increasing the bias or without having much of an effect on the bias. Let me give you an example. Let's say we have three different data sets sampled from the same distribution. Uh, ये आपके पास ठीक है तीन data sets हैं and each one of them is then used to train a linear regression model. Not linear, I mean some regression model. Okay. So of course आपकी the जो data set है it is not exactly same. तो इसलिए आपके जो आपके जो मॉडल ऑब्टेन किया है they are different. Okay. And this figure here show that you have now multiple classifiers trained on dataset obtained from the solution. Now, if I take the average of all these classifiers, what will happen to the variance of the classifier जो हमने जिसका जो average जो किया है? ठीक है, ये आपके पास पहला classifier है, second classifier, third classifier, and so on, multiple classifiers. And I've here plotted them all together. Now I just compute the average, which is maybe something like this average classifier. So the question is, what is the variance of the average classifier as compared to the variance of the individual classifiers? क्या वो variance उनसे ज़्यादा होगी या उनसे कम होगी average classifier की?
कम होगी.
Yeah, it will be less. And the reason is you're taking the average, so average is going to reduce the variance. And similarly, we also observe the similar kind of situation in the classification also. For example, if you have, let's say, a decision boundary like this, या आपके पास एक let's say over class इसके इस तरफ एक class है on this side is the another class. Just giving you an example. And again you train on another classifier on a data set जो कि again इसी distribution से obtain किया है but it is not exactly same. So because the data set is slightly changed, you will get a classifier which will have a different boundary. Okay. Let's pick another data set or I mean sample another data set जो कि इसी distribution में sample आपने की. By another means के I mean if you are training a neural network then you train a new neural network on the third data set. Probably you're going to get a bound. Now when I try to average the decision boundary to obtain the final prediction, I will get something like this, which will be much. In other words, कि आपकी जो variance height has decreased, तो आपने जो overfitting थी उसको decrease कर लिया. So this is how the ensemble methods they help us. They help to reduce the variance, but they do not have much. They do not increase the bias. Bias जो भी आपके मॉडल की जितनी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी थी उसको ये इफेक्ट नहीं पड़ेगा, सिर्फ आपकी वेरिएंस रिड्यूस हो and that is what you want also. Okay. So variance reduction. If a training set are completely independent, it will always help to average an ensemble because this will reduce the variance without affecting the bias. Okay. और कितना variance usually reduce होता है if you have uh, if you have k different classifiers, then the variance is basically reduced like this कि आप जो variance individual model की है उसको divided by k कर दें तो उतनी आपकी variance reduce हो जाएगी. And as I said before, bias के ऊपर there is no effect. Bias वैसे उतना ही रहता है, सिर्फ variance आपकी reduce हो जाती है. Okay. So far, what we have discussed is that in ensemble methods, what any method in which we have multiple classifiers trained on the data set, and then we aggregate or combine the results of those classifiers to make the final prediction. Those are called ensemble methods. And why do ensemble methods work? Ensemble methods work because whenever we take the average of the classifier or multiple classifiers, then it is going to help us in reducing the variance. And so if we have overfitting problem, that by using an ensemble um, of classifiers, that will be avoided. Okay. But as I said before, there are two ways in which we can this technique. One called bagging, the other one is called boosting. So let's start with the first one, which is okay. और बैगिंग पे हमने कहा था कि इसमें we do the training in on different overlapping training sets. So the question is, how do you get these overlapping training? That is what we are going to study next. So let's say to start with, or maybe I should use this because it has a lot of. So let's say I have this is my data set consisting of 10 digits. Or let's say just okay, this is a data set. Now I want to create a data set D from this data set D2 again from the same data set D3. So I want to train three classifiers in parallel on three different data sets which are obtained from the original data set. So this is the technique I'm going to follow. I'm going to randomly pick an element from the original set. Let's say कि randomly मैंने pick किया four data set को. Now once I have picked it, then it basically means कि ये तो मैंने pick कर लिया तो four वहाँ डाल दिया. ठीक है. तो ये तो एक तरीका है कि यहाँ से जब मैंने फोर पिक कर लिया देन आई एम लेफ्ट विद द रिमेनिंग डेटा पॉइंट्स और उनमें से फिर नेक्स्ट में एक सैंपल पिक करूँ. But however, I'm not going to follow that. What I'm going to do is to keep that for in the original data set. ठीक है, it is called random sampling with replacement. कि मैंने उसको वापस रिप्लेस कर दिया, उसको वहाँ से रिमूव नहीं किया. And again, I'm going to randomly sample one data point from this data set. Let's say again I'm going to randomly sample again another point. Maybe this time I sample again 4. Okay, again I'm going to sample 7, maybe, and okay. Similarly for D2 also randomly picking one element with replacement 5 and so, and similarly for D3. So I'm going to use this technique, and this technique has a special name which is called bootstrap sampling. The idea is very simple. Given a dataset D containing n training examples, create a new dataset Di by drawing n examples at random with replacement from D. So at random with replacement means that if I have picked one example or chosen one example, I'm not going to just remove that from the original dataset, but I'm going to replace that over there. And then again draw the sample looking at the whole uh, original dataset. ठीक है. And in this way, I will create k bootstrap samples, D1 to dk. So D1 also contains n samples, D2 also contains n samples, and dk also contains n samples. Train distinct classifiers. For example, let's take the example of decision tree or maybe neural network. So on each one of those, I am going to train a decision tree. And finally, once I have done that, classify new instance by majority voting or averaging. Okay, very simple idea. So any question related to bagging or bootstrap sampling? The only question that remains is कि how to know कि ये जो आपके के data sets हैं how different they are from each other. ऐसा ना हो कि क्योंकि हम random जो है choose कर रहे हैं with replacement, तो ये ना हो कि जो data sets हैं D1 to DK they are very close to each other or similar. So in order to just to get the numbers के each जो data set है वो कैसे तो the let's look at the probability actually. Okay, the probability of picking an example is equal to अगर आपके पास data set में n example what is the sorry about that. What is the probability of picking an example?
Sir, 1 by n.
Okay. And what is the probability of not picking an example?
Sir, 1 minus 1 by n.
1 minus 1 by n. And so this is just if you pick an example in the first iteration. Let's say आपने दफा दो times example pick करनी है. So what is the probability उन दोनों examples में कोई आप दोनों times में आप एक example को pick ना करें? There would be basically the square of this, right? इन दोनों probabilities को multiply कर देंगे. And the probability कि आप 3 times ही एक example को pick ना करें is this. And since you have to pick total n, you have to do this n times. So the probability that you are not going to pick an example n times after picking, the probability that you are not going to pick an example by drawing from the data set n times is given by this probability, right? ये सबको क्लियर है या एक दफा मैं इसको दोबारा गो थ्रू करूँ?
सर दोबारा कर दें।
So the probability that you are going to pick an example, the probability क्योंकि n total example and the probability that you're going to pick particular example is 1 divided by n. And the probability that you are not going to pick an example is, minus 1. Okay, so this is just कि आपने एक टाइम एक दफ़ा एक एग्जांपल एक दफ़ा आपने एक एलिमेंट को पिक करना है, तो उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी क्या है कि उस दफ़ा आपने उसको चूज़ किया है, वो एग्जाम्पल या चूज़ नहीं किया। सिमिलरली अगर आपने 2 दफ़ा एग्जांपल्स को रैंडमली पिक करना हो, तो देन इन दैट केस दिस इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी कि फर्स्ट टाइम आपने उसको पिक नहीं किया, सेकंड टाइम भी अगर आप नहीं पिक करते हैं, देन द प्रोबेबिलिटी इज दिस, राइट? थर्ड टाइम यू अगेन मल्टीप्लाई, so दिस इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी कि आप किसी एग्जांपल को नहीं पिक करते हैं trying n at random, that probability. And this number, this probability for large values of n, it basically converges to 0.6. Means the probability that you're not going to pick an example, या the probability कि कोई example D1 या DK में नहीं है, it is 0.6. Yeah, in other words, 63% of the original training examples will be present in any given set. बाकी जो 36 हैं, they will not be present. इसलिए आपके जो different जो data sets हैं, they will not be there. They will be, they will be, although आप एक ही data set DC उनको pick कर रहे हैं, but they will not be similar. ये बस सिर्फ वो जो data set होगा, जो एक data set है, for example, if you take D1, it will have around 63% of the original training example. Is it clear to all now?
Yes, sir.
So, as I said before, tagging it reduces variance, as I said before. आपने average लेना है सब classes, and it will have no effect. Okay. So let's look at an example of tagging, which is called random forest, and it is an ensemble method specifically designed for decision tree classifier. Okay, whenever you apply bagging technique to decision trees, then that algorithm is called random forest. Okay, you probably have heard its name, but it's a very simple technique that you apply bagging to decision trees, which means that you have an original data set D, you create multiple bootstrapped data sets. इस technique के through जो हमने पिछली slide पे discuss किए हैं. Then on each one of them you train a decision tree. Okay. करेंगे using the norm based on शुरू के lectures में पढ़ा था. And finally, once you have done the training, you use the average prediction to give the final result. Okay? जब टेस्ट सेट आएगा वो हर एक ट्री से आप उसकी प्रेडिक्शन करेंगे और यूजिंग मेजॉरिटी वोटिंग या एवरेजिंग यू आर गोइंग टू फाइनल प्रेडिक्शन. Okay? So this technique is called random forest. And apart from the randomness due to this bagging, there is one other source of randomness also in random forest, which is called this random input vectors. What is this? The random vector method basically it's simply that कि for example ये आपने एक bootstrap sample create कर लिया D1. Now you have to train a decision tree. तो आप क्या करेंगे कि usually you have जो जितने आपकी features हैं उनमें से आप हर node पे हर level पे you of the tree you decide कि कौन सा feature आपने use करना है based on information gain और उसको आप यूज करके अपने ट्री को स्प्लिट करते हैं, राइट. However, in random forest, what you do is you randomly select some m attributes और उनमें से फिर आप जो ऑप्टिमल एट्रीब्यूट है उसको चूज करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपकी प्रॉब्लम में 10 एट्रीब्यूट्स हैं जो एग्जांपल में बेसिकली हर जो ईच एग्जांपल जो डाटा सेट है it consists of 10 attributes. So instead of finding the optimal feature from those 10 features, आप पहले क्या करेंगे randomly 5 6 depending on whatever number you choose के randomly एक 6 कर लें 7 कर लें 7 features आपने choose कर लिए randomly and उन 7 features में से then you choose the optimal one. Okay. Similarly here also you're going to do the same. Okay. Randomly you are going to sample m attributes and then choose the best one amongst those m attributes जो कि आपने choose किए हैं. Similarly here and here also. Okay. So both these randomness, the bagging and the random vector method, they are going to help in reducing the variance. Okay. Okay. Any question? रैंडम फॉरेस्ट सबको समझ आ गया? We take a break and then